Have you ever thought about putting together a full, complete, everyday carry kit for 100 USD? That means, yeah, $100, a full kit. Well, I've thought about it. This is what I came up with. Welcome to Haku EDC. Well, let me just talk a little bit about how we got here. I just want to re-emphasize everything here I purchased with my own money. Everything here I've used from anywhere from 30 days to 8 years of time. And these are all my own opinions. I don't consider myself to be an expert at much of these things, but I have been carrying different sorts of EDC things for over 40 years. Now, how did we get here at $100 or less? Three things. One is that originally I was in the process of moving from, fairly large packs that I would carry around. This would be one of them. I've got these big fatties from Maxpedition, and I've had these and I like them, but in this part of my life, I no longer need to carry around these things that I would put inside another bag. So I wanted something that I could carry basically in my pockets and be kind of fulfilled with what I needed to do. The second piece is I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was asking about the things that are in my collection, and some of them were pretty darn expensive in his mind. Carrying around a Leatherman Surge is pretty darn expensive. Carrying around an EDC 27 light, almost $100 light, pretty dang expensive. And he asked me, could you do something that was cheaper or less expensive? I said, sure, I could think about that. Then as I was talking to him, I was noticing on multitool.org and in Facebook multi-tools that people would be coming in and saying, hey, I would like to get a multi-tool, or I want to get into EDC. Where should I start? Undoubtedly, people would talk about the Leatherman Surge, the Leatherman Wave, the Gerber Dual Force. Occasionally people would talk about some Victorinox ones. Occasionally people would talk about the SOG PowerPoint, but a lot of it was around these $100 pieces of equipment. And I just thought to myself, there are a lot of people who get into EDC and then they're out of it in a year from now or 2 months from now. Given that, what should someone get if they're going to be getting into EDC or giving someone a present so that they can get them into EDC and to help them sort of make the transition from nothing to EDC, recognizing that they're going to transition again in 2 or 3 years? And I went back and looked, and once again, a pouch, a knife, multi-tool, flashlight, lighter, zip ties, paper, pen, watch, handkerchief, wallet. All those things under $100 in front of you there. And they're all good things to use with the expectation that you're going to use it for a couple of years or so, maybe 3 years, and that you will graduate to something better along. Let's get this thing started, and I'll tell you about each one of them. The first thing that we're going to start with is the pouch. This is a Jack and Chris pouch. It is a little bit less than 6 inches and 4 inches. When I originally got this, it was $6. Now it is $12. Now at $6, this pouch is a steal. At $12, there's a lot of competition. It's getting pretty close to some of the Viper A pieces. It's definitely in competition with this Kobesic pouch, which I do carry a lot of. People know that I use one of these for my bike pouch, and I like it. This one's a little bit bigger, but they both will fit inside your pouch. They both will fit inside your pocket, and you can wear these with a jersey or something like that for biking. The other thing that you may want to look at, if you're looking for something cheaper, it's going to be a little bit bigger. It will fit inside a pocket, provided you don't fill it up. This is the left-right pouch, and it's more of your traditional. It's like some of your smaller Maxpedition pouches with you can put things in it with a couple pockets on each side. It's nice, but you know, I tell people, we tend to fill these things up to the brim, and if we do that with this, it will not fit inside a pocket. This one will. So if you wanted something, like I said, cheaper, you can go with the left-right. If something just a little bit bigger with a little bit more functionality, then go with the other one that I talked about. But this one is $12 now, which I think is more than what it should be given its quality that I've talked about previously. The next thing is something that a lot of people have seen, and this is the Walmart bug out clone lesser than knife. It's a nice knife. It has D2 steel on it. It's got a nice feel in the hand, and it's got a clip on it. The nice thing about this is I was very surprised when I got it that it's not a lot of play in the blade. I ended up testing it in a video against two other ones that were twice and three times the price, and it held up well. It sliced through cardboard, it cut wires, cut paracord. It did a really good job. The blade is still great. I also use it to cut some kindling, and it still is in good condition. I think that this is a great little blade for $10 from Walmart. The one little hidden thing that I like about it that a lot of people don't talk about is that it's got a little hole here for like a lanyard. So if you wanted to put it in like a lanyard, it would do that nicely. And I think it only comes in one color, but that's a nice little orange color. If you want something that is cheaper, there are some cheaper knives out there, but I think this is one of the few things where I think that the quality and price is just so good for this at $10. You can get some nicer ones on the $25 range, and then you can get some cheaper ones. You can get knives down to $5 that you can pick up even at Walmart. But this knife with D2 steel blades at $10, you just got to get it. Things here that are probably going to be the most controversial for people is this Felissa 14-in-1. It's $10. I literally went through, I think, 6 different $10, $15 multi-tools from Amazon. I got one from Target, and I got one from Walmart. And so I went through a bunch of them, and they all had at least one fatal flaw. This one is okay. It doesn't really have a super fatal flaw. In fact, it has some really good stuff in it. The spring-loaded pliers, if you look at the pliers, they match up pretty well there. There's a little bit of an edge creep here, but you still can pinch down on things. I have used them to cut wire and some pretty thick wire, and it worked really well. I've used them to move some bolts, and it worked well with that also. The other nice thing about this that a lot of the other ones didn't have is that it has tools on the outside, and the tools actually lock. So I'm just going to go through a few of them. This is your saw. I've used it to cut off like little branches, and so it does work. It's pretty aggressive. It does work. It's, you know, because it locks, they use this little piece here to unlock things. So you can just close it back up, and that you can pull out whatever the other tools are. This is a nice little Phillips. It does work. There's nothing that you can put on it like a lot of other multi-tools that have Phillips, a 3-dimensional or even 2-dimensional. You can put something on it to add some more tools to it, but that's basically it. It's a $10 piece of stuff. So you're not going to get anything fantastic with it. Then it has this little bottle opener and screwdriver, and it does work okay for a screwdriver. It's not going to work for a small screwdriver. It has one of those on the other side. Then over here it has your ruler and file. This ruler, like most rulers on multi-tools, are useless. And this file is not 100% useless, but it's pretty darn useless. You can use it maybe for like your nails, but I wouldn't, use it for anything like plastic or metal to, it would just ruin the file, and you probably won't get too much further. On the other side, you get a couple things that are just, you get this knife, which is a really nice knife. It's not very big, but it's really nice. It does cut well. Everything from cardboard to paper to wire, things, some plastic. Now, the blade steel is not one that you should expect to last a long time, but if you're using this starting off with, you're using this infrequently, it's really nice little blade to start off with. The other thing is I will come back to is that you can do with this and this is that these are both great blades in, let's say, a year from now, depending on how much you use it, to learn how to sharpen. People are, if you're going to mess up a blade to sharpen with, and you usually do the first couple of times you learn how to knife sharpen, it's not as good. Multi-tool. So here's the blade again. Next to it is, let me try it one more time here. Next to it is your little, this can be a little bit of a bottle opener and a $10 blade that you've used quite a bit. You can go get another one. This here is a $10 multi-tool, and once again, you can go get another one for like $10. It's less of a stress than learning how to sharpen on a $50 or $60 knife or $100 bladed. Just a little bit of a screwdriver head. The other one that I forgot to mention, I'm going to go back to it, which is the screwdriver head. I actually used it. Has a pry, and I pried off a fairly loose nail that was in like a board, but you can do cans of paint, just some minor prying, and that would work really well with this. So let's go back here. This thing here is this little micro screwdrivers might be good for just some micro screwdriving work. I was thinking about using it just to test it out on the watch, but I ended up just testing it out on another knife, and it does work. It's okay. It's not great. I mean, you probably can use it on like your eyeglasses too, but it's not something that, I would say if it wasn't there, I would not miss it as much. I know other people message might be that they use something like this every day or all the time. I understand that. This is the saw, and this serrated blade, I'm sorry, I called it a saw because the first time I use it like a saw. But this serrated blade works okay, but I think I used it a few times and it seems like it got duller over time. And I can feel when I rub my hand on like the back here, I can feel a little bit more of the burrs that I like to be able to feel. I don't know if you can see it, like it's a little bit of, like right here, you can see where like things are not straight there, but it works okay. Then probably the tool that is probably outperforming its $10 piece are these scissors. These scissors are really nice. They're probably, of all the scissors on multi-tools, they're probably in the top 25% of scissors. God, they cut through paracord, they cut through paper, they cut through cardboard. I even had it cut some wire and some mesh, and it did a really good job of it. These scissors are better than you would find on like some of the SOGs and some of the lower end Leathermans like the Wingman, or even I think that the scissors here are better than you would find on just a whole bunch of other scissors a whole bunch of other multi-tools that cost 5 times this amount or more. So I really like them. I think that they are the sort of hero tool of this particular $10 piece. If you want a multi-tool that has pliers, scissors, and a decent knife, then this $10 Falisa 14-in-1 is a really good deal. Now, I tried, and you may have seen some of the reviews I did, I tried literally 6 other multi-tools that were in this $10 to $15 range, and this one was by far the best. And so I can't even recommend anything that you will look at besides this particular one, the Falisa 14-in-1. We're going to get to a flashlight. I'm going to give some caveats about a flashlight. A good flashlight that you're going to want to use for EDC has to have a minimum of 500 lumens. If you can get something up closer to 1,000 lumens or 900 lumens, that would be fantastic. The reason for that is because most flashlights at the higher end of their lumen scale, let's say that they're a 900 lumen flashlight, really don't have that lasting a long time. You may get it for like a minute. You may get it for 10 seconds because the flashlight gets so hot that it's not good for like the light or the battery that's inside. What you really want to do is get a flashlight that may have that, but then you want to use the next one down, which may be 500 or 250 or something like that. If you get one that says 200, 250 or 300, please just be aware is that 90% of flashlights that say that they're going to give you 250 lumens will actually give you like 85% or 80% of that. So expect to get 180, 190 lumens from something that says 250 lumens. Once you go below, my mind, 180 lumens in real light, then you're gonna start having issues depending upon what lights sources that you need to have. That's why I say something like this where you can click on it and then you can get 250 lumens that translates into 200 is great, even though it may say 1,000 lumens. The other nice thing about this particular ThruNite Archer Pro is that it has a simple interface. A lot of lights, and I'll show you one that has a much more complicated interface. You just press down the button and it comes on. This is the low light of it. That's the brighter light of it. That is really nice to have this bright, low, and one other one. So there's only a couple of things you have to know about it. The other thing, this light also allows you to charge it up by unscrewing it here, and it's a standard USB-C charger, which is always great. I don't like it when, especially with older lights, they give you something else. When you screw it back up, it makes it a lot more waterproofy so that you don't have to worry about it. The other thing that is really nice about this light is that it has this clip that you can reverse or put on a cap. A lot of times you want to use a clip so that you can actually see things ahead of you. Having it on is really helpful. And this ThruLite Archer Pro 2 does that. Now this sells for around 15 bucks on Amazon. When I originally got it, I think it was 19 bucks, and it seems like it says that its list price is 24, but it seems like every few months this thing kind of comes down in price. It's not hit the bottom at 15 bucks, but it's pretty darn close to it. Because of the lumens, the rechargeability and how it recharges the clip, and also the size, it's well worth the $15 price tag. If you want something that is not quite as bright but very close, I got this Barut one. This one sells for a couple bucks less. It's got a lot more complicated system of the lights. This is one of the things it does. So you have that front light back there, but let me do this again here. You click on it 3 times and then you get this light here. Now this light is really good when you need to get something that is under washing base or under a couch. Then you can just put this under there and then you can see it goes through, it blinks, and then it goes through other sets of lights here. And then it has a little red light. The nice thing about the red light is that you probably aren't going to use that, but you can use the red blinking light. You can put this on the back of a bike. You can use zip ties to tie it on late at night, and then people can see you a little bit. And then has these little flipper things here, which is also helpful to be seen. And then once again, you have the light. And I think you can get the 500, this is 600 lumens, and the second one down is like 200 lumens. So it is enough for you to see and walk with at night. It does have a little magnetic piece back here so that you can attach it to something. I tend to just put it with a zipper tie, and I put it inside a pouch area here, like this or something like that, and then I just pull it out if I need it. So this one is about 11 bucks. This one's is 15 bucks, but they both work really well. I like this one better because it has more lumens and it's going to last you a little longer. Now this Bic lighter is something that I typically don't use a Bic lighter, so I had to search all through my house to find this one. And I did find this Bic lighter. It does work well. Is something that you need in case you need fire. From fire you can cook. From fire you can get light. From fire you can get protection, because you can make a fire on a stick, which will protect you. And anyone that's starting out, I tell them to get a Bic lighter and then practice on getting a flint. I typically only carry flint with me a lot of times. This one works really well, and one decent flint will pay for itself because you'll go through a few of these Bic lighters, provided you know how to use this correctly. I do use lighters. People know that I used to use clipper lighters for quite a long time, and I've moved to what are these Smokezilla lighters that I would carry because they're so thin, and they're also refillable. Thin, refillable, and less likely to leak gas, and a very large flame there. So that's why I like that one. But most people that are starting out, a $2 Bic lighter is fine. You want to get something less? Just use matches. Just get matches. There are matches that are all over the place, just regular matches, and they do work really well. You don't need any specialized matches that will light underwater. Just get regular matches, and they work well. Now zip ties are great. I actually use them more than I thought I would use them. When I first started carrying zip ties, I thought, why am I carrying these? I'm never going to use them. And for a while, I was using something related to zip ties at least once a week. I'm doing it a lot less now. But zip ties are something that you can put these things together and that you can hold something down. You can get thicker ones. I primarily just carry the thinner ones now. And most people only need to carry 4 or 5 zip ties at the most. And generally speaking, 6-7 inches is the maximum length that you would need, because if it's something longer than that, then you can just put 2 zip ties together. These zip ties I got at Harbor Freight. There were $3 for 100 of them. And I actually got 2 different ones. I got these thin ones that go out to, I think, about 6 inches long. And then I got some thick ones that go out to about 10 inches long. I cut them all off. I mean, as you can tell, these are cut off. And then I found these little, like this red one, which is one, they're much more expensive. And so unless you're going to know you're going to need zip ties a lot, you probably shouldn't get it. But these, you can do the same thing that you do with zip ties. You can lock stuff down, but this also allows you to slide them off. And so that's a great little feature for carrying a couple of these, especially if hey, I want those zip ties back. And I've used those and they work really well. So there's really nothing that you can get that's cheaper than zip ties that you would use in this fashion. Pen and pen and paper. My favorite pen is the Pentel Mini RSVP. Love this pen. I use it all the time. I've got a whole bunch of them. They're typically $5 for $6, or if you like them like I do, you buy 24 for $19 on Amazon. The nice thing about it is, while they are thin, you can push this in and then you have pretty much a regular sized pen. And this little cushion thing is really helpful for us people that tend to bear down on a pen, because it gives it a little cushion here. The other nice thing about it, I tend to like a little bit thinner framework than some people. So if you're used to having a Sharpie marker that's used, this is probably not the pen for you. There are other pens that write in low pressure, that write in space, that write underwater. I just have never needed to use one of those pens. I've got them. I've got a Write in the Rain pen and paper. I just have never used them. The primary piece of paper that I tend to use are Post-it notes. I think the original Post-it notes and from 3M, not the third-party ones, work so well. There are a couple of times when I've used them recently. Once is a friend of mine. I saw his car, so I wanted to leave a note for him to call me. So I left a note right on the window by the door, and it was a Post-it note. It was great. Now, if I would have just had a typical piece of paper, I would not have been able to do that. I also was at the gym, and I needed to call someone before I left the gym, so I put a note inside the locker, and then I put that attached to the door of the locker. And it worked. I remembered it to call the person. So Post-it notes are just much more versatile. It doesn't mean that I don't use other notepads. I do. I love them. I like to use them, but I primarily use them for journaling. I try to write at least a couple of pages inside of these a day in the morning, but I don't put them in a bag or a pouch, because generally speaking, I don't need more than 4 of these 6x4 Post-it notes. Now, I tend to buy my Post-it notes from Target because they tend to be less expensive than Amazon. On Amazon and at Target, you can get 100 sheets, and I only use 4 at a time at the very most, and I fold them over for about $5. If you were to get a larger set of 500 ones, then with multicolors, you're probably going to be paying at Target like $11 or $12. On Amazon, you're going to be paying almost twice that amount. So I do like this pen and paper setup. Now, can you get pens for free? Yes, you can walk into any business, and if you ask nicely, if they have a pen that they can give you, they will give you a free pen. That's okay. Paper, there's lots of leftover paper from newspaper print that you just carry around, little scraps of paper inside your pocket. You write on them. They're free. They're free. But the advantage is, I think it's important for you to find a pen that you like writing with, a pen or pencil you love to write with, because you're more likely to write. I know people that have some very expensive notebooks, and they don't write because the pen that they have isn't not comfortable inside their hands. Now, watches. Watches are one of these things that are very important to keep time. I tend to prefer digital watches over manual or automatic watches because they keep better time. The digital watches do have batteries, and so the batteries can go dead. Most watches will tell you how long the batteries will last. And I tell people, with something like a Casio, generally 60% of whatever they tell you the time-wise is more than enough to then get another battery. The batteries on Casios, like a lot of watches, are just easy to put in and take off. You just unscrew this, you look at the battery thing, you put it back in. You can also always just carry an extra battery with you if you're afraid that the battery is going to go dead. Now, this is digital watch. It does have a timer. It does have a chronogram. It does have an alarms on it. So it's got a lot of things that you would want in a watch if you were in a situation where you were alone or out in the woods, and you're out in the woods for quite a few days. You don't have to worry about charging it. You don't have to worry about anything else. Now, Casio does make watches that you can solar charge that will last you a longer time, almost forever. But this one is a really nice one. It's got a nice band on it. Tells time really well, and it fits most arms. It is a little smaller, so it is one that is typically purchased by women than men. But I've got a big, thick arm, and as you can tell from looking at it, it'll fit me okay. And it's just really nice to wear. Like I said, this is not my watch. This is someone else's watch that they've worn, and so I'm repeating back to what they have told me that's easier to use. There are other watches. If you want something that's similar to a Casio watch, that's going to be a little cheaper. There's another Chinese brand called Skmei, S-K-M-E-I, and they have similar watches to this one. They're usually $5 or $6 less. This one is a $18 watch on Amazon. So, you know, if you want to spend $12, $13 to get one similar, you can do that from a Chinese brand. All these Casio watches like these are also made in China. So just to let you know that. Those are the Casio F91W watch. Hanks. This is a really interesting story. This Hank here it used to be sold at REI. They don't longer sell these particular ones. I think it was like 12 bucks. And I actually got one maybe a year and a half ago. I was walking into, I can't remember, was it Goodwill or Salvation Army? Well, it doesn't matter. Let's say it was a Goodwill store. And I walked in and I saw this Hank. It was 50 cents. So I ended up getting one like this and a different one. So I got 2 Hanks for $1. That's a pretty good deal. And I like this one because, and I originally got this one because it matches that right there. But, you know, once again, I typically don't use Hanks, but I've got a couple of them. And these things work really well for cleaning your glasses, for cleaning stuff, for adding stuff. Now, there are some people that like their Hanks to be a little bit more cushiony. And so what I've done for that, and I've done this before, is that I've gotten these microfiber cloths, and this one I just cut in half. That became my Hank for a while, and I tried it out. It worked really well. I don't need to have that sort of cushiony piece, and so I don't use it anymore, but I do like it. I do use just a regular Hank occasionally. This wallet here is a Chum's wallet I've had for 8 years. I am one of the people that don't understand spending $80 on a wallet, $90, $100 on a wallet. If you're one of those people that spends more than $60 on a wallet, please let me know in like the comments why. I'm truly interested in knowing. I understand that there's some people who love titanium, and that will cost more, and there's some people who love the feel of leather, of real leather, and those will cost more. But I've yet to find one of those $50, $60, $70, $80, $90 wallets that does anything that my Chum's wallet doesn't do. It's also a minimalist wallet, and it has a few things that theirs don't do. The nice reason why I have it, and I haven't changed it out, it's got 2 compartments here. And the front compartment I've used because I've needed to go into a building that had both the QR code, and we would do the QR code and then show a picture to the guard. So I need to be able to do that. So that one was always in the front. That was the only one that's in the front. Then in like the back, I would have other things. I might have like a tile card, or I might have the other one that I would carry back there was my driver's license. It also has another pocket, and this pocket also has a large area where you can put money, you can put other cards in there that you would like to be able to use, and you can also put change in there. I mean, how many wallets that are minimalist that you can actually put change in? This is one of them. And the last thing that I like about this wallet, which I haven't used in a long time, I must admit, is that it has a keychain on it. You can put your keys on here. My suggestion is that if you do put a keychain on here, then just use a C carabiner with another one so that you can attach it and unattach it easily. But you can put your keys in here and have your wallet and put it in your pocket. Put everything else, put this on like your wrist and everything else inside this particular pouch. So if you want something, this is I think $14 now on, no, $12 now. Now on Amazon, when I first got mine, I think it was like $7. If you want something that's a little cheaper and a little interesting, one of the things that I see happening now are these 3D printed card holders, and these will hold your card very well. I'm gonna see if I can find another one of these because I actually have two of these. Oh yeah, here's the one that I was looking for. This is a 3D one. I just put a little thing on here to remember that it's mine. You can put in, you can put in money. You can put in your bus cards, your transportation cards. In here, you can put in other things, and it does have enough spots in here for like 6 to 8 cards rather easily. And then you can close it up, and it does lock up, and you can actually sit on it if that's what you need it to do. It works really well. These are, I think that they sell for $8 on Amazon. So it's a few dollars less than this. These are the kinds of things that if you wanted to need a second wallet of just some secondary things, you might want to put it in here. I just use a little label maker to put this on so I know that it was mine. The other possibility are these mesh things. Now these will hold a lot more cards. They also will hold money in them. They also will hold change in them. I've used these when I've traveled, and this is where I would put like foreign currency, or if I'm in like a hotel and they give me a hotel key, I would put that in there. Since a lot of currency in some countries, they're still based on coins, I put a coin in here. If you're really worried, mine has, I don't think that I've ever had one that actually is torn, but if you're really worried about this, you can actually get some tape and put it on the inside so that the piece is on the outside, and that really helps quite a bit. That's what a friend of mine told me that he's done with his. I also use these to make like little boo-boo kits, and little cleaning kits. In this one right here, I've got like some gloves and some drugs and things like that. If that's what you need. These are like, you get 5 of these for like $6, and they're well worth it. Even if you don't use them as a wallet, you can just store stuff in these. Anything that you can put in a wallet, you can put in this. You can put it inside your pocket, and you can know that it will be stored there. Some of these do come with these little hooks, which are nice. You can put like a little carabiner on them, and then you can attach them to stuff. I typically do not do that. Some don't come with hooks, I think, but most do. So that's what you can look at for like wallets. So this wallet is like $12, or you can get something like these for $5 for like $6, or 2 for $8 for something like this. And once again, all these things will be listed below. Let's finalize the count, and we can just see how much everything is. I did happen to write it down, so I do know the outcome. The pouch is $12. I paid $6, so we're going to put this as $12. Once again, a lot of these things you can get a cheaper rate or price on. The Walmart bug out clone D2 knife is $10. The plus is $10. The through knife, I paid $17 for it. It's currently $14 on Amazon, so we can do the $17. Just let you know that. We aren't going for the lowest number, we're doing for a realistic number. The Bic lighter, I put in $3. The zip ties, you can get 100 of these for $3. The pens are 5 pens for $6 on Amazon. The Post-it notes, where you can get 125 Post-it notes for $6 on Target. The Casio watch was $20 originally, so that's where we're going to be putting in, but it is now $17 on Amazon, so we'll put in the $20 there. The Chums, I don't know how much I paid for it, less than $7 probably, is now $12 on both REI and Amazon, so we're going to put in $12. And for like the hanky, I just put in $1 because that's what they're worth and what I paid for. I paid for when you add up all those numbers, you come to exactly $100. So you have a full kit for $100. As it has stated earlier, this kit was really made to be a 2 to 3 year kit. Someone who was starting out in the EDC world, and then they're going to be doing other things. I talked about upgrading things. I can see, so what are you going to do when you decide to upgrade? Let's say that you get a better pouch. This pouch could become a little mini tool pouch for like, sure, you can put some small tools in it. You can put it inside your car. I have 2 of these, and that's what I use one of them for. It is a mini tool pouch. I also put in things like Blistex, little boo-boo kit inside of it. Just put inside my car. Now this knife, I stated earlier, it is a great blade. It is a D2 blade, so it is going to get dull, and so, but it's a great blade to test your sharpening skills on. It's only $10. You can do that when like you get a sharpener kit. You can test that on. With this multi-tool, you can just throw it inside your car, inside your glove compartment, and so you have something there as you get up to something that is better. It'll take you a long time to outgrow this through knife, but if you do once, again, it's a great thing to put inside your car or inside your tool kit. You'll outrun this Bic lighter. Zip ties, you'll have those forever. Pen, paper, you'll have those forever. Watch, you'll probably have, you don't need to upgrade a watch, but if you do, there's some really nice watches that you would want to consider. And then, of course, the wallet. I've had this for 8 years, so my next wallet is going to be another Chums wallet. Handkerchief doesn't matter to me. It'll be another $1 purchase. So that's the future of these particular items for most people. And once again, this is Cool EDC. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the future. Cool EDC. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the future.